bolts.
How do you become a Royal Marine Scout sniper? Well, you have to pass an intense 13-week-long course, and out of the 200-plus courses run by Commando Training Centre, Royal Marines, it's one of the most popular courses and one of the most challenging. It's split into 3 modules, the first of which is Marksmanship. And it begins with getting to know your weapon. Currently, the Royal Marines use the L115 A3 Accuracy International AW338 caliber sniper rifle. It has a Schmidt & Bender PM2 scope, a Harris bipod, and a suppressor which dampens noise and flash, and with all of that weighs around 9.4 kilograms. It has an adjustable stock and cheek piece so the shooter can tailor the weapon to their body, making it easier to align the eyes to the centre of the scope. It also has an extendable butt spike for stability. So what can this weapon do?
In terms of its capability, it's able to hit a man-sized target with a first round out to 900 metres, and we expect it to be effective against a man-sized target out to 1200 metres. Also expect to be effective at harassing a target out to as far as 1500 metres.
What makes a sniper an asset to military operations is precision, being able to carry out exacting shots when needed from a concealed position. And that's why this is such a specialist course.
It's the precision and accuracy that is required of you to be able to pass the course is very different. The types of optics we use, where you actually have the ability to dial to be exact with your adjustments for different ranges and different environmental conditions, requires a lot of knowledge about the environmentals, so how the environment is going to affect the trajectory of your round, as well as having knowledge of the weapon system itself and being able to troubleshoot when and if you do start missing.
So let's break it down into really simple terms. When the bullet leaves the barrel of a rifle, it doesn't just head in a straight line towards the target. There are a lot of factors that impact the direction it takes. Here's the basics. Firstly, gravity is pulling the bullet towards the ground. Low altitude and low temperatures create denser air, which means there's more drag on the bullet, so it travels slower. High altitudes and high temperatures create thinner air, so less drag on the bullet as it flies towards the target. How hot or cold it is also affects the burn rate of the propellant in a bullet, which is an explosive substance which, you guessed it, propels the bullet forward. If it's hot, the burn rate is faster, so there will be more power projecting the bullet's movement, and the opposite if the temperatures are cooler. And then there's the wind, which is arguably the most difficult outside factor to negotiate when trying to take the perfect sniper shot. The direction and strength of the wind will alter the flight path, and the further away the target is, the more time the wind has to influence it. A lot of this first module is learning how to input environmental data like the wind and temperature into a Kestrel ballistics weather meter, which crunches the numbers and tells the shooter how to adjust their scope to compensate for all the variables.
Okay, range 1200, elevation 12.7.
And then routing, I'll make the feet.
Indication, target 12 o'clock, lane 13.
Range 1200, 12.7. Indication, target lane 13.
Deflection 1 mil left. Aiming point, high centre chest.
Aiming point, high centre chest, yard on.
Time to fire on me, stand by.
The different dials on the scope fine-tune the shooter's aim. On the left there's a focus adjuster, on the top is the elevation dial, and on the right-hand side is what's called the deflection drum, which is altered depending on the wind conditions. And then it's time to see just how accurate you are.
Fire.
The snipers also note down all the data they collect so they can refer back to it and use it to make any calculations to adjust their sight. And this is how they're tested.
We split it into 3 different range categories, so short range, mid range and long range. Our short range tests are conducted at 400 metres. At 400 metres you would be expected to be able to achieve headshots with the L115 A3. So the first thing we do is go into a tactical crawl forward and a headshot onto a target. From there, we'll then move on to moving targets, and then finally a stress shoot, which is a 100-meter sprint into a rapid engagement of targets coming up and down.
Generally, snipers will squeeze the trigger during a natural pause in their breathing. But if they've been running or exerting themselves, they need to bring their heart rate back down to normal and their breathing back down to normal. So it's essential to take 2 or 3 deep breaths so they can stay as steady on target as possible.
Fire 4 rounds over 4 minutes.
They are also assessed on various static and moving targets at mid-range, 600 metres, and at long range, 800 and 900 metres. Plus, they get to grips with shooting from a tripod. And across all these distances, they must achieve an 80% hit rate. And then it's on to the second part of the test in this module.
So we then move on to live fire tactical training, and so we go on to a field firing range, firing at steel targets. What first needs to be conducted is the annual competency, so the ACMT, which is, of course, pass-fail for the course, because they can't continue with tactical training if they haven't passed that. And then we'll move on to advanced shooting techniques, which mainly revolves around being able to do rapid engagements using a few different techniques to allow engagement of multiple targets at multiple ranges within a shorter period of time.
It doesn't stop there. Practising at night is an essential part of the module, as many military operations don't take place during daylight hours. Here the snipers are shooting through a space in a piece of cardboard. It's to resemble a gap in vegetation or a clear flight path through building rubble that you could use to take a shot. All of what's covered in the Marksmanship module is the foundations of sniper shooting, and from there you introduce strategy and the art of concealment. That's where what they're wearing, the ghillie suit, comes into its own. But that's all in the next module, the skills phase. So even if you've scored highly on marksmanship, it's just the first step on the Scout Sniper journey run by Commando Training Centre, Royal Marines. Bryony Williams, Forces News, Barry Budden Training Area, Scotland. Thanks for watching. For more from Forces News, like and subscribe to our channel.